Today, we look at a story that is shaping Europe's future in real time. A story that reveals how power works when the doors close and only a few decide the fate of millions. This is the truth behind Trump's new Ukraine peace plan, a plan he promotes as a quick path to stability. But when you read the details, it looks far closer to a surrender drafted outside Ukraine and delivered as a take-it-or-leave-it ultimatum. Let's start with what has been leaked so far. According to multiple reports, Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, has been quietly meeting Russian intermediaries, not diplomats, not negotiators in any official structure, but people close to the Kremlin who can deliver messages back to Putin. These discussions led to a 28-point proposal that was then presented to Kyiv as something they should accept. Here is what the plan demands from Ukraine. First, surrender of the remaining parts of the Donbass. Not just the territory Russia already occupies, but the whole region. Second, a dramatic reduction of the Ukrainian army, cutting it almost in half.
Third, a commitment to abandon long-range weapons, the same systems that stopped Russian advances over the past 2 years. And finally, new cultural and religious concessions that align perfectly with Kremlin wishes. Russian as an official state language and a privileged status for the Russian Orthodox Church. You can call this a peace plan, but it reads like the list of demands from the side that started the war. And the most remarkable part is not what is in the plan. It is who was excluded from writing it. Ukraine had no seat at the table. Europe had no seat at the table. Yet both will live with the consequences long after Washington and Moscow shake hands and move on. This is why European leaders reacted so quickly and so sharply. Kaja Kallas said it plainly. Any peace deal must involve Ukrainians and Europeans from the very beginning. The Dutch government said they had not even been consulted. France and Denmark reminded everyone that negotiations must start with a ceasefire, not a list of concessions dictated from abroad.
It is rare for Europeans to speak this openly, but they understand what is at stake. If the United States and Russia set the terms of peace, and Europe is asked only to pay for the reconstruction and accept the new borders, then Europe is not a strategic actor. It is a spectator. And this is the deeper crisis behind the story. Europe talks about strategic autonomy, but when the moment arrives, it is still outside the room while others decide the future of its continent.
The timing is also not accidental. Ukraine is exhausted. Its energy infrastructure is under constant attack. Russian forces control almost a fifth of its territory. And Kyiv is dealing with internal political tensions, including the recent dismissal of key ministers. This is the moment when a pressured government is most vulnerable to foreign proposals that claim to offer peace. On the American side, Trump wants a quick diplomatic victory. Ending the war allows him to say he delivered something Biden could not. It gives him a foreign policy trophy without committing to long-term American involvement. On the Russian side, Putin sees the same pattern. He launched a war and could emerge with territorial gains, security concessions, and a weakened neighbor, all while presenting himself as the one who accepted a reasonable peace plan. For Ukraine, the calculation is brutal. Accept the deal and concede the principles it has fought for. Reject it and risk losing American support. Either path is painful, and Europe stands in the middle, forced to confront a question it has avoided for decades. Is Europe willing to defend its own security interests, or will it depend on the decisions of others? What is happening now is more than a negotiation. It is a test of Europe's political maturity, a test of whether Europe sees itself as a union with its own voice or a collection of states waiting for instructions from Washington. If Europe wants to be taken seriously, it must act seriously. And if Ukraine is to survive as a sovereign country, Europe cannot remain silent while others decide its borders, its army, and its future. This moment will define the next decade. Either Europe steps into the room, or the room will close without it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and visit WesternRelations.com for deeper analysis of politics and power in the Western world. Thank you for watching.